Welcome back, y'all. Jason here.
Michelle, Echo Nesters.
And we've got, who do we got with us, Shell?
We got Betty.
And what is Betty?
Betty's our Winnebago Ekko.
That's right. She's our Winnebago Ekko, built on that Ford all-wheel drive Transit chassis. And if you've been following along with us, you'll know that we love Betty. We take Betty everywhere. We talk a lot about Betty. We take her on adventures.
Yeah, we have fun.
I mean, we just, everything we can do with it. And we love the fact that you guys subscribe, watch our channel. And today, tell them a little bit about what we're going to talk about today,
Today, we're going to touch on some propane safety tips, and we're going to show you how this Propane Quick Connect works.
That's right. And one of the reasons that we decided to do this with y'all today is, as you know, we love our Trailfire. We have cooked on this probably more times than we cooked in our home in the last year and a few months.
For real, yeah.
Not even an argument. That's a fact. And we're not full-timers. We're not part-timers. What would you say we are? Just kind of getting out there? We're in any-timers, kind of have a good timers.
Good timers.
A lot of folks will notice that we connect our Trailfire directly to
our propane.
Right here to Betty.
Yeah.
And when we make the connection, a lot of folks are like, how are you guys doing that? What's the product you're using? So we thought what we do is, as Michelle said, we're going to introduce you to this Quick Connect Hose kit. We're going to install it. We're going to give it a little, I don't know if you need the tips, but we're going to explain how it all happens. We'll talk a little bit about this little product right here, which allows you to connect to a cylinder independently and how quick and easy that'll be. And then I would say, should we tell them that we got a contest running again?
Yeah, we got a little giveaway.
What are we going to give away?
Well, we are giving away.
She looked back here like we were going to give away an Ekko. That's not happening, y'all. So I don't know if she confused you just with that. What are we going to give away,
We're going to give away our Propane Quick Connect Hose.
That's right. And anybody within the continental United States and or Alaska will ship it to your address free of charge. We'll pay for the freight, everything. At the very end of this video, and or somewhere along the video, we're going to tell you more about how you're going to win, the rules, and what it takes to make it happen.
Yeah, we got to have a little fun.
Yeah, you got to stay tuned. You got to watch. So I think we should get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
As promised, we're going to move right into the Quick Connect Hose, how we install it, the convenience that it adds, and a few other particulars, if you will, along the way as we're demonstrating the installation process. So let's go ahead and get started. One of the reasons that we ended up going with the Quick Connect Hose on our Trailfire, which is our favorite appliance, is simply the convenience that it added in respect to what the Winnebago Ekko happens to offer. Now, you're not limited to just the Winnebago Ekko in this case. Most RVs, a lot of the Class B build-outs, and also a lot of the Class A's, trailers, etc., happen to have what one would call an exterior and or quick connect port built in, just like this Bad Betty. Got a little desk cover, a lever, and that basically feeds propane directly to an outdoor appliance and or fire pit. So why would we need this? Well, pretty simple. Let's say that whether you pick up a Trailfire or any other outdoor appliance and or fire pit, typically they're expecting that you're going to be making this connection from the appliance and or fire pit directly to a propane source, typically a 20-pound tank and or a single 1-pound tank. So they install, or if you will, provide a built-in regulator with the hose because this is required. Otherwise, there would be a lot of pressure coming out of this tank, feeding the appliance, and the appliance would probably not work. So we're pretty used to doing this, whether we're at home, barbecuing, etc., etc. However, sometimes when we're out and about and we've got maybe our favorite appliance that we take with us and or fire pit, we want to be able to put this unit at a particular distance or further away from maybe where we're spending with our coach, if you will. And or we don't necessarily want to pack an extra tank, or we don't want to take one of our tanks out of our tank garage here. It's a little bit inconvenient to unstraddle all this and bring it out. So that's where the Quick Connect comes in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some tools out of my favorite little bag right here that I carry so many tools with. As you can see, it's exploding with fun, right? And we're going to demonstrate how easy it is to make the connection here. And then we're going to talk a little bit about why you don't see a regulator built onto this hose, but you see this one. So let me get the bag open, get a little drink of water. It's a beautiful day out here and it is warm. We'll be right back with you. All right, y'all, so you can see we got our table all set up. We've got some tools available and ready to make this happen. So the first thing you're going to need is obviously your Quick Connect Hose. You can purchase this online, multiple places, or you could go to eckonesters.com. We have these available, very competitive pricing on that as well. But what we're going to do a little different if you purchase from us is we're going to include the gas tape so you don't even have to go down to the hardware store. So what's inside my tool bag? What are you going to need to make the adaptation from the Quick Connect hose to removing the factory installed hose with the regulator? You got a couple of choices. You can use 2 crescent wrenches, typically a 6 to 8 inch crescent wrench and or a 10 inch, or you can use a couple of open-end box wrenches. In this case, in my bag that I carry lots of tools that we typically use on the road, wrong pocket there, is 2 little crescent wrenches. And just in this case, I happen to have the 10 inch and I happen to have the 6 inch crescent wrench. The other thing that I keep on board, among other things, along with my tape, my wire, and some other things, is gas tape and or LP tape. And we're going to demonstrate what that means and how we use it. So let me move this aside. Now, so you've got your fire pit and or your outdoor appliance, your grill, etc. And now's the time to come where you've ordered your kit and you're ready to install it. Step 1 is going to go ahead and get your tools ready, have your gas tape ready. And what you're going to want to do is, depending on your appliance, you're going to have a place where you need to lock down to the main shutoff valve, which in this case just happens to be right here. And then the other places where you need to remove the hose. The reason that you want to lock on here is if you try to turn this independently, and I think what I'll do is I'll demonstrate that. And let's say that I had never removed this before. It's going to put pressure on this whole valve and you could snap something off and or cause a leak. So it's always good to get a little lock on here, get your wrench set up. And in this case, I've loosened it before. Get her loose and basically twist of your hand, just a little bit there. You've exposed the threads in the valve. Now, as mentioned earlier, I've already taken this off in the past and we've been using our Quick Connect, but for the purpose of the video, I wanted to at least get into the position that you all are going to be in for the reason you're watching this video, which is where you started. So usually what you want to do is clean off any of the old tape and or putty, depending what the manufacturer used. And once you feel that that's pretty cleaned up and everything's just, I'd say, pretty smooth and ready, you're going to take your gas tape. And gas tape is typically yellow. And you're going to just take a small piece out. And what you have to think about is that the threads on here in this case are righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So as you wrap your tape, you want your tape wrapping the same direction that your hose connection is going to go on, so it's tightening the tape and biting it as it turns. If you wrap the wrong way, what's going to happen is when you get ready to thread your hose on with the little connector, you're going to be unraveling the tape and you're not going to have a good seal. So it's pretty straightforward. You can do one or two things. You could break yourself off a little piece, and or you could go ahead and just wrap it from, I'm going to call it the spool. In this case, I think what we'll do, because most people might do this, is we'll break off a piece. We'll get her started right here on the spool. And again, we're going to wrap it so that we're following how our hose is going to go on. And once you get, I usually go about 3 to 5 wraps. It's really preference in this case. And I'm going to have Michelle swing the camera around real quick so I can show you something. If you notice, I've made sure that the tape didn't come in contact with the opening where our gas is going to flow. And then what you're going to do, you're going to open up your Ekko Nesters exclusive Quick Connect hose. And again, you can pick these up at other places. We do have them on our website.
Yeah, but we're including one of these.
Yes, we are. And also, you support our channel and help us grow and travel and do things so that we can share these adventures and mods with you when you order from us. So I've got my hose, and this part's going to be pretty straightforward. The Quick Connect part, if you will, is more tapered, just like this. And the part that you're going to thread on is actually threaded. This is the female side. This is the male side. Now, some folks, and I'm going to grab something here, will choose to put, in this case, this right here is a pipe thread sealant. A lot of plumbers and people that work in natural gas and or working on LP stuff, they will put a little bit of what they might call their pipe dope or Rector Seal on there. In this case, I really don't need this. It's pretty low volume and I feel pretty confident without it. So the first thing I'm going to do is when I get ready to thread this on, I'm going to start just hand tightening it. And I'll know right away that I've got a good bite and that I'm not cross threading because it's going on nice and easy by hand. And then once I've snugged it up the best I can, I'm going to go ahead and take, again, my little 6-inch crescent wrench, which, again, you could be using box end or open end wrenches. I'm going to take my larger one. I'm going to bite onto here, just hold it. So again, I'm not rotating the valve. We don't want anything to break. And I'm just going to keep gently turning. And then pretty soon, you're going to get into a range where it starts to get pretty firm. You could go about a quarter turn past that, but I would not go any further than that. So I'm just about there because we don't want to strip the threads and or over tighten this. Now you might be asking yourself, well, how do I know I made a good connection and I don't have a leak? Well, I'm going to show you. You're going to probably want to pick yourself up some leak detectors. Some folks will use a soapy compound of water where they've got a nice rich soap, almost the type like when you're a little kid and you're making bubbles and blowing bubbles. If there's a leak here and you generously, if you will, saturate this and you've got a connection to your tank and or your LP source, you are going to know right away if you have a leak because there'll be bubbles. I'll demonstrate that later. But again, if you're concerned, you can get some leak detector, or in one of our other videos, if you happen to pick up the leak detector tools that we carry on board, those will also work. They're sniffers. So now that we've got our hose connected, we feel pretty confident. The next thing here is to say, okay, now I can go right on over to my Quick Connect port. And again, whether it's an Ekko and a Class A, Class B, C, camper, etc. This is where it gets pretty easy. We take the dust cover off. Got the male end to the female end. We're going to pull the collet back, slide that in, make sure we got a good connection. And then we can open up the valve, and the rest is history. When we're done, we go like this, and it's quickly disconnected. You might recall, though, in the very beginning, we talked a little bit about what if I do want to connect to a separate cylinder and be away from the vehicle. Maybe I've got my tank at home, and that's what I have in my backyard is a 20-pound cylinder. Well, we also have a link for these, and we carry them on our website. But this is a Quick Connect adapter that allows you to connect directly to your 20-pound cylinder. You'll notice that it has a built-in regulator. Remember, we talked about the importance of a regulator. We talked about that our RVs and or coaches, trailers, have a built-in regulator already. That's why we don't have one on our Quick Connect hose, because that's going to be a regulator for those purposes. But we're out and about, and we want to take this away from our rig. We don't want to take all this back apart and keep changing out our hoses. That's inconvenient. So we just pack one of these around. Again, we've got the male end here, little collet right here. We would pull back slightly, insert, lock it in. This is an off position. And just as if you've done all the other times in the past, you'll make your connection here, and you've got your regulator, and you have your appliance. All right, y'all, so here's the exciting part, right? We just went through the basics of the Quick Connect. You're gonna have a different experience now. You're gonna be able to connect your favorite appliance and or fire pit directly to your vehicle, your rig. In this case, this is our Bad Betty or Winnebago Ekko. But we talked a little bit about the giveaway. We promised that this week, when we introduced the video, we were gonna give you something, and Michelle said, we're gonna give you one of our Quick Connect hoses. The nice thing is, that Quick Connect hose, it's not necessarily just tied to the use of an Ekko. So if you don't happen to have an Ekko and you've just been watching our video and you love, let's say, hanging out with us, so to speak, you're going to be able to take that on the road with you in other ways and use it at home. So, very beginning of the video, our introduction was slightly different than typical. There were a few, should we say keywords, Shell?
Yeah, a little different language in the introduction of our Winnebago Ekko.
And then the other thing is, there was something different going on around us. Better yet, let's give them a few better clues than that. There is something different about Bad Betty. I'm going to let you figure that out. If I gave you a clue in the very beginning, it would have to do with where we're at and what's going on around us, what kind of park we're in, and what kind of golf is happening. Okay? So your job is to figure out those two minimal things. The first person that figures that out leaves a comment right there. Bingo. I'm going to see it. It's time-stamped. Everything's going to happen. We're going to connect. I'm going to get your address. And if you are in the continental United States, including Hawaii, Alaska, however you want to define it, we're going to ship you this. We're going to pay for the freight. We're going to do it all. And it's going to land at your door. And you're going to be pretty happy and excited that you got one. So remember, That's the giveaway. You got to figure it out. All right, Shell, we are going to enjoy the fruits of our labor in this beautiful park. So what's the first thing you're going to do here, Shell?
We're going to connect our quick connect.
All right.
Woohoo.
So go open that up, pull the dust cover off.
Dust cover off, push this back, connect that, make sure that's in the off position.
Okay.
Good to go. Turn our propane on.
All right.
Go with this one.
And if you notice, Michelle's just going to give a quarter turn in the very beginning to get it open. Let the gas slowly flow through, and then she's going to go ahead and crank it all the way up.
Yeah, right there. We're going to have a little
now,
fire.
She can go ahead and open the valve on this one. So go ahead, Shell, and move that. There we go.
Got it.
All right, let's go enjoy the rest. All right, y'all, so we were going to close out the video earlier, but Michelle and I thought since it's still such a beautiful evening, the temperature's dropped enough that we can enjoy
stay toasty.
A fire and stay toasty before we get back out there and do our thing. We thought it would be a good time to answer some of the questions that we get around the Trailfire.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There are quite a few, so we'll just hit a couple of the top ones. One of the biggest questions we get is, how many BTUs is the Trailfire? How many British thermal units does this produce off the propane? And I'll let you just answer that.
I think it's around 50,000.
It is, absolutely. 50,000 BTUs. And that is a pretty significant number, especially, I mean, right now we are nice and toasty. The other thing that we get asked quite a bit is, how long are you able to run this on full throttle, if you will, off your 20-pound cylinder, which is about 4.6 gallons of propane. And the going rate, if you will, is about 6 to 8 hours. But I'd arguably say we've exceeded that.
We've exceeded that.
We have. Yeah. And the thing is that obviously you can control right from here your flame. We use the red one to control the flame from the standpoint of cooking. And probably the third question we get is, they'll ask, hey, I noticed that you're using it as a fire pit. You've got the wok, you've got the pizza oven, you've got everything going, you got the full 4-in-1. But why is the griddle off right now? Well, we've got full throttle going here. Yep. We're going full 50K.
We're doing it.
And one of the things is, you probably don't want your grill, if you will, on there when you're running full throttle, because about the only time we probably run full throttle with the grill is usually when we're like searing a steak or we're flashing something and we want that flash. But outside of that, just like anything,
we do it kind of.
You just don't want it on there. So I hope that answers some of the questions. 50,000 BTUs, 6 to 8 hours to expect minimum on a 20-pound tank. And the last thing is, as you notice how quick and easy the Quick Connect hose is, do not forget to pick yourself up the adapter right here, because that's going to allow you to take your tank off site.
You like that convenience, for sure. And
where can you go, which is not far from us?
Right down that river. You can go on a beach, anywhere you want to.
Absolutely. So I'd say till next time.
Oh wait, you need the Ekko Nester code.
Oh, we do. So the Ekko Nester code is Ekko Nesters. So if you go to trailfire.com and you want to pick yourself up one, at the very end when you're checking out, there's going to be a discount code area there. If you enter the code Ekko Nesters, one, you're going to get a discount. Number two, full disclosure, we get a percentage of that sale. But I want to be clear, we had this long before we had an agreement or any understanding or affiliation.
We truly, genuinely love it.
With Trailfire. We bought it at full price. We used it like crazy. And then the rest was history. So
want you all to enjoy one too.
We're encouraging you to get one from the standpoint of how we've truly enjoyed it.
We have.
From anything else. But if you do want to save yourself some money, you
use the code.
And who should they order this from?
I would say Ekko Nesters.
That's right. So till next time, take care, y'all. We're just waving to Heidi. She's park ranger here. And waving to y'all too.
All right.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers to y'all.
Thank you for watching.
And cheers to good health, and keep on echoing.